Hello everyone, this is Mr. Co with a quick video for some tips and tricks on how to perform proper care and maintenance on our trumpets here. So the biggest issues that arise for trumpet players are water in the trumpet itself and valves that are not pressing down like this one. Is not pressing down all the way, and I can show you how to fix both of those things right now. Now, if it sounds like there's like a rolling or watery sound coming out of your trumpet, that is not a big deal. It just means that the condensation from our breath is kind of getting stuck in liquid form somewhere in this trumpet, and it needs to get out, and once it does that, it won't sound like that anymore. So I'm sitting over a trash can right now. You should definitely do that as well. Quick reminder, this is the main, we'll call it, you can call it either a water key or a spit valve. It's not really spit, as I've said during class. Most of what's in here is just condensation. But you can still call it a spit valve. That is what it is often referred to as. So what you want to do, you're going to press down on this, and I'll show you once I'm over a trash can because some stuff might come out. Okay. And I like to angle my trumpet downward a little bit because gravity will help it to come out. Let me back up a little bit. So you're going to be over the trash can, which I am. You're going to push down on this, and I don't really have anything in here right now. But what you're going to do is just blow and not buzz, not, you're just going to go. In fact, I even like to put my lips over the mouthpiece, which is not how you play, but just go like this. And that'll help any water in here escape. There is another little valve right here next to it. This is called the third valve slide water key. It's connected to our third valve, which is the one furthest away from us. And if you want to use that one, the way that it can work best is if you hold down your third valve and then you hold this down. Well, I had a little something there. And sometimes it gets stuck in there and you empty this one out and you say, I still hear some kind of crackling going on. It may be that your third valve slide has some water in it as well. All right, so those are two ways to empty your water. And then this is by far the most common problem on the trumpet is my valve is getting sticky, and sometimes it just kind of sits like this, or it doesn't come all the way up like that. And that means that you need to oil your valves. So everybody should have gotten some valve oil that comes with your trumpet. If you didn't, let me know, and I can also link in the description some valve oil that you can purchase. So here are the steps. Watch closely. There are a lot of steps to this, and there are some things that you can do wrong. All right, so first things first, I'm going to change my first valve right here. I'm going to oil that. So I'm going to unscrew, not up here, but down here. There's a little ring that's attaching the valve to the casing, which is this kind of tube right here. All right, so I'm going to unscrew that all the way until it comes off, and then I'm just going to pull the entire valve out. All right, so we have our valve, and you only want to oil from here, better pointing, from here down where the holes are, okay? Don't worry about this part, don't worry about the top part, all right? So we unscrewed our valve oil, and we're going to just kind of gently squeeze, and I also do this, I'm doing it out of frame because I'm holding it over the trash can right now. But you want to squeeze very gently. You really don't need that much in order to get some oil on there. And then you're going to go ahead and put it back over into the hole. You're going to kind of, sometimes you got to wiggle it until it gets back down there. Here is the most important part. This is the part that people screw up. You need to spin this until it is in the correct spot, like a clock. So you're going to notice that every valve has a number on it. I don't know if you can see mine. It's up here. It says S and then a 1. That's important because it tells you this is the first valve, all right? And that 1 needs to face my mouthpiece. If it's facing the wrong way, something will happen. For example, if I face it this way and try and blow, I'm going to blow my face off because the air, the holes down here are not lined up correctly. So it's not letting any air through this trumpet. So if you try and oil your valve, this is the #1 problem that I've seen happen to trumpets. They oil their valve, they put their valve back in correctly, but they don't line up the 1 facing the mouthpiece, and then nothing happens. This is why, okay? You need to line it up so the #1, which my #1 is right over here, faces the mouthpiece. And then you should not be able to move it anymore. It actually locks into place. That's how you know you've done it right, probably probably. Sometimes it locks into place backwards. So you do need to make sure that number 1 is facing the correct way, or number 2 for the second valve, number 3 for the third valve. All right, once that's good, you're gonna go ahead and screw the top till it's tight, so that valve doesn't go anywhere. And then, my favorite part, you get to press this as fast as you can. This is working the oil throughout the valve to make sure that everything is moving and in correct position, all right? So that is the main thing that you need to remember when you are oiling valves, is to make sure that the number faces your mouthpiece, okay? Speaking of the mouthpiece, the last thing I wanted to talk about is an optional thing. Some people are very particular about their mouthpiece. They're really worried that it's not clean, and I hear you. So this is, again, optional, but you can purchase what's called a mouthpiece brush. It looks like this. It's very small. It's kind of like a evergreen tree. And you can purchase this from the music store, and this just allows you to kind of get in here and make sure the inside of your mouthpiece is pretty clean. It doesn't often get super dirty, but in case you wanted to kind of take the next step in your care and maintenance journey, this is what I would offer and recommend, alrighty? So those are the most important tips for keeping your trumpet in tip-top shape. If you have any other questions or issues, feel free to bring them to class, and I'm happy to answer. Have a good day.